is president of the American Institute for Economic Research, Will Ruger, who knew Kissinger and was a follower of his foreign policy. Will, thank you for being with us this morning. I know you had the chance for some in-depth discussions with Kissinger over the years. Tell us a little bit more about your relationship with him and just your sentiments in the wake of his passing.
Yeah, I met him when he was older, and what was amazing is actually how sharp he was still in his 90s. And his sharpness, I think, was kind of rooted in his, I think, astute observations about looking at the world kind of clearly, pragmatically, thinking about national interests, strategic environments, thinking about pragmatism, the importance of order and diplomacy to achieving the national interest, and thinking about the balance of power. And he displayed that when I've seen him on the stage and personally. And this is in short supply, I think, in America, both then and now. Unfortunately, this kind of more realistic approach, but sometimes, again, he was a complicated figure, right? He had his rhetoric going in one direction, but often, his actions weren't necessarily in sync with that. Sometimes they were. The Sino-Soviet split, arms control, diplomacy to end these conflicts, but other times not.
Yeah, he certainly leaves behind a complicated legacy, that is for sure. I know you said you met him when he was older. When was the last time that you saw Kissinger? Do you have any fond memories of that last meeting or talk the two of you had?
Well, I saw him at stage at a national interest gala and had dinner with him that evening. And it was, again, very sharp, despite obviously being, more physically frail. And, again, that's what was remarkable, is his long staying power on the stage. And that's both good and bad, right? He contributed to American political thought. But he also, I think, he suffered from a kind of attraction to being with power. If you think about, for example, the kind of anti-realism of the Iraq War, he oftentimes didn't want to get too far away from where the consensus was. And, he had his great legacy, of course, is during the Cold War, splitting the Soviet Union and China. But he took a lot of criticism for being apologizing too much for China later in his career. And so, again, a very complicated legacy.
And speaking of China, you took me to my next point, my next question. A huge part of his legacy was normalizing relations with China. Obviously, a lot has changed since the 1970s. How do you think he would handle the current challenges now, not just from China, but Russia, Iran, the Israel-Hamas war that is ongoing right now? How do you think he'd handle it? And do you have any insights into what he thought about it in his final days here?
Yeah, on one telling, you could say the more realistic, pragmatic framework would mean that he would avoid some of the more Manichaean, black and white thinking that we oftentimes see in American foreign policy today. But again, he was someone who didn't necessarily, later in his career in particular, go too far outside of the consensus. Think about the support for the Iraq War. Think about the fact that, he oftentimes was apologetic about China. And so some people have always raised the question of whether his business interests collided with his realist framework. And so I think, again, it's a very complicated legacy. And someone who, understood power, and that's important in foreign policy thinking, but was also attracted to power and maintaining irrelevance. I mean, look, this guy was a rock star, and very few people who do foreign policy are rock stars and are dating Hollywood actresses, and he did.
Being seen, on the town with Lauren Bacall, Elizabeth Taylor, Princess Diana, as we just mentioned in that piece before we brought you on live. He certainly saw a lot of change, overcame a lot of obstacles in his 100 years as well. Will Ruger, I know you're remembering him fondly this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.